matter how talented the Vegas Golden Knights are, or the Toronto Maple Leafs, or the Winnipeg Jets, or what your regular season record was, or how skilled your best players are, there's only one way to do business at this time of year. Because we've seen with Toronto how they tried to do business in the past. It was like, let's see if we can skill our way. It doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. If your best guys aren't committed to doing that, you will not win.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why I'm fascinated with, like, I always joke about the analytics, and that stuff does not mean absolutely squat this time of year.
Well, and the whole 5-on-5 conversation has I think been something Ottawa's trying to lean on. Like, we liked our game 5-on-5. Generally, if that's the case, that would indicate the other team didn't like their game 5-on-5, and I don't think the Leafs would have seen it that way. Like, I don't think that's the way Craig Berube operates. Like, I didn't like our game 5-on-5. He'd say we battled, we won. Now let's reset and go do it again in game 2.
Well, I don't think they got their ass handed to them.
I didn't see it that way either. And especially, in the third period, the game's out of hand. It's over. And Ottawa was pushing, and Ottawa's got pride and all that. And the numbers can be very misleading. But I didn't sense that either. I didn't sense the ice was tilted one way or the other.
Yeah, I think what you try and sell in Ottawa is take the 3 power play goals out. This is a 3-2 game.
Right, exactly.
And that looks a lot different. But you go, if you're Travis Green going, smarten up, stay out of the box. You can't give a team like the Leafs or any other team that has high-end skill 6 opportunities in the power play.
Yeah, you're
in
toast.
The playoffs.
You're toast.
You're not going to, you can't do that. So I think what you're trying to say is play it straight up and see what happens in how the chips fall.
I think one thing
special teams were the difference the other night as far as the scoreboard. Because what did Ottawa have, 2 or 3?
Yeah, I think they were 0 for 3 on their power plays.
So they were outscored 3-0.
Yeah,
on special teams.
I think the Sens, if there's one thing they could take away from game 1, yes, there's not a lot of experience. Yes, they look nervous. But the one thing is, like, you can't outwork everything come playoff time. You do have to prepare for a war, but you got to play better. Like, Tim Stützle's got to find a level. You saw a couple years ago when McDavid found out what the playoff level was, and he's an exception because he is unstoppable and he's a freak and he's the GOAT right now. But guys have to elevate to a different level where they play better. I'm sure the LA Kings are hoping Byfield is going to do that this year. But Tim Stützle, Batherson, they're younger guys. Like, they got to find a level that's way better than what they've ever done before.
Well,
it's not about out-hitting issues or it's like working hard or caring. You have to play way better than you ever have.
Well, here's something crazy, too. If the goalie, you talked about, 5, 6 real quality chances, and pretty much all of them
on
went
both
in.
sides.
Right, but against Ottawa, pretty much all of them went in. You get 2 or 3 more saves. Now the score isn't as egregious.
It's mandatory.
Like, your goalie, I think, starts it all. It all starts there. Like, if Allmark does not play well tonight,
no one's got more pressure on them than Allmark tonight.
So. Like, Allmark's got to play. He's got to play a lot better, and whether that's fair or unfair, the team in front of him has to protect middle ice, do everything that we talked about. But if he doesn't match the guy at the other end, big save for big save, or however you want to unfold, that's not the recipe. Because if you're looking at it, Allmark's a big part of them having success.
And the way it's lined up, Jamie, when you're a wild card team playing the team that won the division, the way the Ottawa Senators are set up, for them to have a chance in the series, you would have to say their goaltender's going to have to steal them at least 2.
Well, he's got
right?
I don't think there's any question.
We said it about Hellebuck last night to calm everything down because there was questions around the goals he let in game 1. And I said yesterday, what he's got to do is have a lockdown 2-1 hockey game to just shut everyone up and calm his teammates down. And it's just moving forward.
He did it.
And that's what Linus Allmark has to do for the Sens.
Very matter of fact. And I don't think there's any questioning that Allmark is going to have to do that, especially now. You're down 1. Yeah. Like he's going to have a performance or 2 in this building.
And the guy at the other end too. This is his first kick at the can. Yes. Playing 2 days later and 2 days later. Like he's got to follow it up.
Always pressure on the goalies.
Again, you get goal support, you get other factors that come in, but ultimately, you start there and then you build out and go, okay, where's the pressure lie? There.
Yep. And you push that aside and you look at the whiteboards and the battles and again, it's the Leafs, Matthews, Tavares, their 1-2 punch up the middle of the ice. They do not have Stanley Cup runs. They do not have Stanley Cup final experience, but they've played a lot of games, and Stützle and Cousins have played 2 combined. And that's one area that, we've talked about it, but not extensively. Up the middle of the ice with those two, and even throw Pinto in there. Pinto, that's his first game.
Yep.
They played 3 combined playoff games, and they were all the other night. So if you've got Matthews and Tavares, and you're looking at Stützle and Cousins, that's a battle I think Craig Berube should feel comfortable with.
I know. It's an unforgiving league, though. It's not like you can say, hey, just take this series and take something out. You got to be better tonight.
Well, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying.
You got to
your
taste
best
it. You
players.
saw what goes on out there. Be better tonight.
Absolutely.
It's a now league.
They have to.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it later this afternoon where Brady Tkachuk comes into play. And yesterday it was referenced, well, look what he did at the Four Nations. He was playing with Eichel and Matthews. Now he needs Stützle. You need your centerman. Right. Like, you need your centerman to step up. And Brady's going to do his thing and crash and bang and open up ice. And you saw it 50 times.
I didn't think Brady had
advantage of it.
I didn't think Brady had a bad night the other night. Like, if it looks different if he scores on that breakaway.
Yeah.
That he was physical. I didn't think he was being stupid. He wasn't the guy, punching people in the face. But he has to be somebody that has to be contended with. Like, that's what you're talking about. Like, be a force where they can't stop him in front of the net or whatever,
create ice,
whatever he's able to do for his line mates.
And
that's
then
the biggest
if
challenge.
and when he does that, again, his line mates, they've got to pounce, right? And Giroux, I didn't like Giroux's night the other night at all, but he's the veteran. That's the thing.
Very noticeable.
That's the way they're building that line. I think you got 2 guys with no playoff experience, and then Claude Giroux.
Right.
And that's we'll see what Green does tonight. There's some indication he may change up the lines, may change up the lineup. Nick Cousins may step in, and I think there's going to be changes on defense as well, possibly. But more on that later this afternoon. Mark Giordano will be in studio from 5 to 7 today. We got Mike Camilleri coming up today, Mike Johnson, Bonesy, and Ralphie. The game on TSN 1050 tonight. Confirm or deny coming up as well. Overdrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Time now for TSN 1050 Time Saver Traffic.
Well, heading downtown has been a bit of a problem with the DVP southbound crash past York Mills, blocking a couple of lanes with big delays coming off of the 404 as well. The 401 not in a good spot where West Express past 400, collision 2 left lanes, and now East Express past 404, a crash there blocking the center lane. So good luck trying to use the DVP as we now have a crash East 401 past 412, 2 left lanes. Hurry to the all-in-one event for great offers and experience all the features that come standard in a Subaru. From the News Talk 1010 Traffic Center, I'm Dan Deely.
First up with Korolnik and Koliakovo. Weekday morning 6 till 10 on TSN 1050.
You ain't first, you're last.
These women are good people.
Amanda Seyfried stars
It's our job to protect them.
in the riveting mystery thriller
You gotta let it go.
I'll let it go when I find her.
Long Bright River. All new. Saturday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on USA Network. Stream on Crave.
The Battle of Ontario is on, and FanDuel is your home for all the drama. Build your bet live, any game, any period. Stack multiple matchups on one slip with SGP Plus, and get exclusive markets if Toronto and Ottawa take it to overtime. Download FanDuel and get more playoff action.
Please play responsibly. 18 plus and physically located in Ontario. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling or the gambling of someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge.
Karen and Gary needed more space and wanted to buy a home first before selling their condo. They contacted Franklin Associates because they wanted the number 1 RE/MAX team in the GTA to help them. They found a wonderful home and purchased it. Amazing. But now they had to sell their unit in a saturated condo market with plenty of other units available for sale. They were confident because of the multi-million-dollar seller system and buyer guarantee that would help them with closing their purchase if their property was not sold or if the closing dates didn't align. Well, Franklin Associates did it again. Their condo sold and the stress was gone. If you need to make a move and want to avoid the stress that comes with it, call the only team I would call and the team with all the solutions. That's Franklin Associates at 416-917-5466. That's 416-917-LION. Or go online to getleo.com. That's getleo.com and start packing with confidence.
When you get a Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and class-leading safety included, it's like you also get a Subaru that comes with your very own golf club holder, stadium parking navigator, a basketball team transporter, a remote cottage finder, a beaver spotter, a coach hauler, bear country guide, a family road trip carrier, a muddy road controller, extreme wind stabilizer, plus a... And we're out of time. Subaru is the multi-tool that masters every unpredictable weather condition. Visit your local Subaru dealer for great lease and finance options.
Get rewarded with the no annual fee PC MasterCard and get up to $750 back in points every year on everything that makes you, you. No limits, just rewards on your terms. Can your cashback card do that? Visit pcfinancial.ca for details and conditions.
Hey, it's Brian Hayes. Springtime means it's Jiffy time in my house. My yard is a mess. The barbecue hasn't been touched since last summer. And my windows, let's not talk about those. So I hopped on the Jiffy app and booked all 3 Jiffy jobs in seconds. Just a couple minutes later, I've got Jesse, Corey, and John coming by the house right when I need them. Trust me, Jiffy is a no-brainer for your spring to-do list. Download the Jiffy app or sign up at jiffyondemand.com with the code SPORTS for $25 off your first job. Jiffy, Canada's #1 home maintenance app.
Tonight on TSN 1050, the Battle of Ontario rolls on as your Toronto Maple Leafs face off against the Ottawa Senators in Game 2 of the first round. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The Leafs live here. Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
I can neither confirm or deny that this is in fact a segment.
Austin trades Andrew Raycroft to Toronto in exchange for the rights to Tuukka Rask.
It's been my honor and a privilege to serve as the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club.
It's time for Confirm or Deny.
Do you regret giving all those gentlemen the no trades or no movement clauses?
I can neither confirm or deny that.
I can't confirm or deny that.
All right, there he is, the original Nico Ferguson Jr.
What a character he would be in a horror movie.
I can't
Nico
believe that.
Fergie Jr.
Yeah. I cannot confirm or deny that I ever considered how popular Luka Doncic was to the Dallas market.
Fergie on Elm Street.
Yes. There you go. Fergie Ween.
I can neither confirm or deny that.
That is one of the most outrageous still. Like thinking about that comment.
I had no idea.
No idea how popular.
Guys, let's be real. Like, I know I get a little bit crazy with some of my comments. As soon as that comes out of his mouth, it's a fireable offense. It really...
I think it kind of has to be when you consider you had a long time to prepare for it, and you have to say something different
Charles
than
Barkley
that.
is one of his good friends, and he went on the panel yesterday, and he goes, look, man, I like you. You're my friend. You got to stop talking.
Yeah.
You just have to stop talking.
Speaking of that panel, did you see Shaq last night?
Shaq had himself a problem.
Shaq mid panel. Yeah, mid segment said, I have to leave.
But
and that guy cannot be inconspicuous.
Charles
He's
throws
7
him under
feet
the bus
tall.
and goes, you got to go dump or something.
Yeah, and I think Kenny's like, hey, big fella. He calls him big fella, too,
fella.
which I know you hate that, and I'm sure Shaq doesn't love it either. And as Shaq gets up, Kenny's like, where you going, big fella? And Shaq just took off.
And then...
But how did you go? How do you know that that's what he...
Well, why else would you leave mid-segment?
He goes, we're live on TV. That's what Kenny said. We're live on TV. And Shaq's like, keep going, keep going. And he walks out the door. And then Charles goes,
bring a match. Yeah, make sure you bring a match.
Are we allowed to play it? We should have
I don't see why not.
Oh,
I mean,
my God.
I don't know if we have it or not.
It was brilliant. I watched it 20 times. Because the way he walks, too, you could tell he was having a problem.
He was you in Kitchener, man.
Dude, if you had seen me waddle out to that volleyball court like a penguin, you would have passed out. Anyway, confirm or deny?
Confirm or deny.
Yes.
All right, I have a feeling Noodles may not have to answer this. This may be you and I.
Okay.
All right? Because I got a couple that I think I know how Noodles is going to answer. If Allmark struggles tonight, Travis Green should consider a switch for Game 3.
Dude, deny.
Confirm or deny?
Please tell this guy that's a ridiculous.
All right.
Well, I'll wait.
What if he's awful tonight?
I think you...
Dude, he makes $8 million a year. You're going back to him.
Okay.
It is. Yeah, I don't think it's... I think the leash is longer.
Mm-hmm.
I think the leash is longer with Allmark.
It better
would
be
on a Stuart Skinner.
We'll get to him in a moment.
But the right now, if he struggles tonight, I still think he starts Game 3. Unless something crazy happens and Forsberg comes in and stands on his head and they come back and win or something, then you have that debate. But if you're asking me right now, I say he starts Game 3.
There is no way in hell you're seeing
Okay.
There's no way
I'll deny it as well, but look, we're looking at his stats. You know, his playoff history is Allmark. It's just not that good, man. Like that, he has more pressure on him than anyone on the ice tonight. That goes without saying. I would maybe argue any player going into Game 2 league-wide because of what you just said. They have paid him to be the man.
$8 million a year.
Well, and he is their man.
Yes.
But like if they end up losing, I don't think in the end, I mean, we'll do a post-mortem regardless after this series. But if they end up losing, it's probably a combination of, yes, him, but also other things.
Absolutely.
Factors.
And we've broken that all down, the defensive breakdowns.
All of that type of stuff. But
right.
just in the end, I would say
I'll deny it.
I'm denying it, and that's my reasoning why.
Okay. And that is reasonable, and you got to trust your guy. And you can't, Travis Green just 2 days ago with the elephant in the room and all, you can't one more game later say, actually, there was an elephant in the room and this guy's coming out.
Yeah.
All right. How about this one? Confirm or deny, Calvin Pickard of the Edmonton Oilers will start at least one game against the Kings.
I'm going to deny it. He could do some mop-up work. Dude,
I'm confirming this one. I would maybe think of putting him in Game 2. I would be so angry last night if I was Chris
They did it against
Knobloch.
Van last year.
They did it, but
Skinner's been awful this year. Let's call it what it is.
Very inconsistent.
He has not played well. You battle back and you give up that goal. That is... I don't know, man.
Dude,
I mean, you guys tell me you've been in the room before, but that would be
goal,
sickening.
and it's also wasting away the McJesus.
That's
night.
my point.
It's like when you have that night, you got to lock that down for a victory, man. You say, "Let's roll, boys."
So your previous question, I thought like we were bullish on that.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I'm less bullish on.
Oh.
I'll be honest, because of Stuart Skinner inconsistency this year, hurt down the stretch. Pickard wasn't a guy who went like 8-5. Like he had 21 wins,
played a lot,
22 wins for them. Like played very well. They trusted him. He was aggressive. They knew exactly how he was going to play. But I still think it's Skinner's net with just a shorter leash. I'd say it's one more start and allow him to see if they can bounce back. Keep in mind, the Edmonton Oilers stunk for 2 periods.
Yes,
like that was
not just him
from the drop of the puck, and they just couldn't control him. 8 shots on goal. Bad chances against Bouchard, muffins up the middle. Like there was
right.
a lot of things, but I do believe the leash is a lot shorter for Stuart Skinner than it is for Allmark and other goaltenders through the league.
Absolutely, and it was not just him,
right?
Like including McDavid through 40 minutes. Like he didn't do anything the first like 30 minutes of the game. They really Draisaitl had
6
some
shots on goal after 30 minutes.
Right, exactly.
6.
Their 9th shot went in. I believe it was Draisaitl.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
With 7 seconds to go. But it is concerning that that's how it starts.
Didn't play well, but that's again
Game 1, and they struggle Game 1s as well. And they
thing is though, you got to win games. Like last night, I was joking because I thought I was going to see an O tweet, but he wasn't awake. But like, oh, they got a point, or like Montreal comes back, got a point out of it. Like Montreal, they storm back. In my mind, I'm like they're winning that.
I
game.
loved their third period.
I loved it.
I thought they played great in the third.
I thought that they were gonna
I thought they're winning that game.
flip the switch, and Washington would have been like, "Oh boy, what have we got our hands?" Because the first half of that hockey game,
they beat the hell out of Montreal.
Dude, they were just standing around watching, and they were like, "You want to talk about like deer in the headlights?" They were like, "Oh, this is what the." But then they figured it out, and Marty St. Louis said it best. He goes, "There's nothing to write here. Like they figured it out, and they learned that they were in a different environment, and they figured it out on their own in game, which is a credit to them. Well, they just couldn't close. They had some bozo stuff go on at the end of the game with that icing, and Patrick Laine drives me nuts watching him play 5-on-5 because he's another player, just like Elias Pettersson, where I think he could be so good. Yeah. Patrick Laine, guys, if he was dialed in, if you put Tom Wilson's intensity on Patrick Laine, you're going to have one of the best players that ever played the game. But he just is, he's gotten himself to a point where he only wants to do work on the power play, and it bothers the hell out of me.
Well, and it's dangerous when you've got him with the kid, too.
Right.
Like Demidov is trying to figure it out. And
and he sees this guy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the playoffs. Yes, he got buried. The ref, they could have waved off the icing in overtime. Right. They could have waved it off. We've seen that a lot. But then you look at the draw, like Laine's just waving at him. Like it just...
You know what it is?
And Ovi just goes, I'll stand here and thank you.
You don't wave at anything.
And Hudson, too.
But they weren't great on that play. that's regular season intensity in a playoff game.
Absolutely.
Well, we were just talking about that Winnipeg game. Those guys were playing for keeps. That effort from line A and, Hudson, I thought was late on the play. That's regular season going, hey, the rotation missed it or whatever. There has to be a desire to go, this is not on my watch. This isn't going in. I'll chop that guy in half before he gets to the front of the net. And yes, there's a penalty involved or whatever. It wasn't. That was still regular season intensity.
That's exactly
out
what
of
it
a
was.
couple guys, and I didn't like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. All right, let me skip the next one, Joe. I'll get to this because we're talking about it. Confirm or deny, Alex Ovechkin's Game 1 will be more memorable than Connor McDavid's Game 1.
2 weeks from now?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll go first. I'm going to confirm it because Ovi had 2 goals, an OT winner. He had an assist. He had 3 points.
He was the
threw that
performer
monster hit early in the game, and McDavid's was unbelievable, but they lost.
Yeah.
So for me, it's
I gotta
Ovi.
deny it. I just thought what McDavid did, dude, when it's 5-2 and 4-1, it's usually curtains in the third period, and that guy went absolutely nuts last night.
Yeah, I hear you.
Here's where I'm going to agree with you, but I'm going to say here's where I'll deny it. If they follow it, if
Fergie comment, if I've ever
Nico,
heard.
No. Please continue, Nico.
Give me a second.
Fergie Jr. Go ahead.
2 days from now or tomorrow. When do they play again? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
If McDavid follows it up and Edmonton wins the game and he's lights out, you tie that game to tomorrow's game.
Yes.
And go see what he did in game 1.
He came alive and now
came
it's
alive.
over.
Maybe they've awoken or he's awakened a monster type of thing. That's the only way you remember that McDavid effort over Ovi is if it continues on in a progression. So you're going game 2, he was a nightmare for LA. Well, it started in game 1, that third period.
And I think that is very valid. And if he has a big night in a game 2, he's going to be leading the league in points.
Right, you're going like this.
Here he is. He's alive. What are you going to do with this guy?
There was 4 points, right?
Yeah, he had a goal and 3 assists last night, and they were beauties. But Ovi, he scores the first goal of the game from his office.
Yes.
Then he scores the OT winner. Again, he threw hits. He went after Demidov a couple times last night to be
40 years old, and he's playing like that.
Yeah, for me, it's Ovechkin.
That wrister from the slot, with momentum going towards the net, just like his record-breaking goal. It's just that is such a missile, man.
Yeah, it's
it
crazy.
Is. Now it clicked something, right? Did you see it change directions a little bit because Montembeault kind of was playing it, and then it went over on the blocker side. Craig and I looked at it 5 times because I was like, did I touch something? Because it looked like it waffled a bit, like it turned. But he throws it so quickly.
He gets it off.
He gets it off
man.
so quickly.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
And there is serious action.
More memorable for sure because they won the game and he delivered it.
And he's never scored an OT winner in the playoffs.
That's the crazy thing. Never.
It was a great celebration. Everything. It was heartbreaking for the Habs, clearly, but Ovechkin. He's had such a magical year. He's the captain of the 1 seed. They were almost threw it away, and he ends up winning it for them. It was. I thought.
Magical.
Yeah, it was a great night for Ovechkin. That is for sure. All right, more confirm or denies throughout the afternoon. Mark Giordano coming up. Gio will be in studio at 5 o'clock. MJ still to come. Mike Camilleri coming up. Charging towards Game 2, Leafs and Sens tonight. Also, the Battle of Florida kicking off tonight. It's about time. And see Matthew Tkachuk out there. He looks good, man. Tkachuk looks good.
Game time decision.
We'll see. I have a feeling he's going to play.
Paul Maurice said they got to clear some things with the medical stuff.
Yeah. Well, there was that report, I guess, that the league wasn't ecstatic with the long-term IR. Maybe that's why Evander Kane didn't play last night. Maybe the league is like, I don't love that Matthew Tkachuk is going to be flying tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, that'll be interesting.
Oh, what? They just decided to not like that?
Well, exactly. Why now? You've had all these guys do it forever.
I think it's ridiculous that because you're right. It's not, by all accounts, Evander Kane could have played last night. He'll probably play tomorrow.
Exactly. So it's a 1-game suspension if you're on long time. Anyway, we'll get into it with Gio. Yeah. We'll get into it with other guys later this afternoon. But it's a big night of hockey again. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Time now for TSN 1050 Time Saver Traffic.
It's like trying to score against Prime Brodeur or Hasek right now. 401 westbound express past the 400. Collision with two left lanes still blocked. And then eastbound 401 express past the 404 DVP. Collision there with two left lanes blocked. And then further eastbound past the 412 crash left lane. Now, good news, the DVP southbound crash past York Mills is gone. Huge delays coming off the 404. And a closure in Hamilton on the 403 both ways. Westbound at 6 North and eastbound at York. Want a home that reflects you? Pella offers more styles than ever before. Proudly in Canada for over 50 years. Visit Pella.com and bring your home vision to life. From the News Talk 1010 Traffic Center, I'm Dan Deely.
All right, make sure you download the Jiffy app or get to JiffyOnDemand.com. Jiffy app or JiffyOnDemand.com. Whenever I have a small job or emergency around a house, that is exactly what I do. Jump on the app, search for the job, connect with a local professional within minutes. He or she can be at my house that day, the next day, or I can book in advance. Get the lawn care taken care of. Beautiful day in Toronto. We're officially into the spring. The good weather is here, and it's here for good. So make sure the lawn care is dialed in, courtesy of the Jiffy app. Windows clean, barbecue clean, any small job or emergency inside or outside the house, that is the place to go. It's so reliable. It's so convenient. It's so local. The best app in the business for small jobs and emergencies around the house. That's the Jiffy app or JiffyOnDemand.com. Jiffy app, JiffyOnDemand.com. Use the promo code SPORTS. You'll save $25 off your first job. That's the promo code SPORTS to save $25 off your first job. Download the Jiffy app. Use the promo code SPORTS. Jiffy, Canada's #1 home maintenance app.
These women are good people.
Amanda Seyfried stars
It's our job to protect them.
in the riveting mystery thriller
You gotta let it go.
I'll let it go when I find her.
Long Bright River. All new. Saturday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on USA Network. Stream on Crave.
When you get a Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and class-leading safety included, it's like you also get a Subaru that comes with a multi-dog transporter, mud navigator, a Rainmaster slope pilot, remote campsite finder, a moose country guide, a gravel handler, a very slushy surface controller, windy road stabilizer, spinning wheel avoider, a four-legged mammal attractor, surprise snow detector, plus a... Oh, and we're out of time. Subaru is the multi-tool that masters every unpredictable weather condition. Visit your local Subaru dealer for great lease and finance options.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Tenequip is proudly 100% Canadian owned and operated since 1968. They offer over 180,000 products built for performance, reliability, and long-lasting quality. From safety and industrial supplies to janitorial and packaging, they've got what you need. Enjoy free and fast delivery on orders over $99. Conditions apply. Shop local. Support Canadian businesses. Visit Tenequip.com. Tenequip. Canadians supplying Canadians.
When you get into a new RAV4, you might suddenly find yourself camping, even if the closest you've been to nature is your houseplants. Because with all-wheel drive, you can get in and right out of there. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $106 weekly for 36 months at 5.69% with $2,500 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Last night we let the liquor talk. I can't remember everything we said.
All right, game 2 tonight, Leafs and Sens. Mark Giordano in studio coming up in about 10 minutes. Just seeing that looks like the Jays have sent Easton Lucas back down to AAA.
And as soon as they get traction and you're like, I'm all in on these guys, they're going to turn it around.
Well, they got
start
down,
getting
was it
ace.
7 Cobb?
Yeah, they've lost 3 in a row now. Their bats are asleep. They still don't hit for power. They've faced some very difficult pitching the last week or week and a half.
Well, what it's the big leagues. What the hell do you think? You looking for an Easton Lucas to wheel out there on the mound? Like
I understand that. And like Bo Bichette has still not hit a home run.
Well, the other guy's got one.
I think they got
staggering.
They got 12 total, don't they, on the season?
Vladdy, yeah, exactly. I think they're 29th or 30th in all of Major League Baseball in team home runs.
Yeah.
Santander's got 2. Vladdy's got 1. Bo has not hit a home run. It's staggering. Bo's gone like 230, 240 at-bats without a home run.
But when we talked to Ross, he said, just wait until it happens because they're
just a matter of time.
Or whatever. It was like, wait until this thing starts happening. You're going to go nuts.
They've been saying the same thing for 2 years. No. It's right there. It's right there. They're going to break out. Once they do,
watch out.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, they had won 3 in a row prior to this, and now they lose 3 in a row, and still a game over 500. But, the American League, it doesn't look loaded, yet the Yankees are there, and the Yankees, what have they got, 14, 15 wins? And Yankees are going to get to 90-something wins. That's just the way it goes.
It's just what they do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Garrett Cole's out for the year. It doesn't matter. They're going to get to 90 wins. So
he's done for the whole year.
He's out. Tommy John. He's done. He'll miss, I think, maybe parts of next year too.
Yeah, they're 14-9. The Yankees.
Yeah.
The Red Sox are
couple games
13
over 500.
11. Yeah, and the Jays are 12-11.
Yeah. So listen, it's a decent start. You're in the hunt here. There's going to be ups and downs, but it's very likely the Yankees are going to do what they always do. And if they end up winning the division, then you're talking wild card. And that's probably 86 wins, 87. We all know what the numbers are going to be.
Yeah.
But if you don't hit for power, you can't sustain success. You have to hit for power in baseball. You have to.
They just gave a guy $500 million to hit for power.
And it is long overdue, Vladdy, to go on a heater here. It's time to get cooking here. You're more than 20 games into the season. Get rocking here. Same thing with Bichette, Santander, all the boys.
Are we saying that somebody said this to me the other day. Do we save $500 million? Because that's U.S. Or do we say 720?
That's true. You want to go Canadian? It's a lot more than $500 million.
Exactly. That exchange rate, you're looking at north of 700 sheets.
$700 million Canadian.
Yes.
Let's get going here. Come on. Big expectations. Come on, Vladdy.
Yeah.
All right, game 2 tonight. Battle of Ontario. Mark Giordano will be in studio. We'll get his take on the games we saw last night as well. There's a lot going on in the hockey world. We'll continue with that. Hour 2 coming up. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app.
Time now for TSN 1050 Time Saver Traffic.
Finally clearing is the crash on the West 401 Express past the 400. Been there for plenty of time the afternoon for the most part. Eastbound 401, though, the Express past the 404 DVP collision with 2 left lanes blocked. Too heavy right now in the Gardner and the DVP. Been trying to head into the downtown core for, maybe a nice hockey game tonight. Westbound Wilson past the Allen, we have a collision there. Hurry to the all-in-one event for great offers and experience all the features that come standard in a Subaru. From the News Talk 1010 Traffic Center, I'm Dan Deely.
Gameplay. Weekday afternoons from 2 till 4. Gameplay on TSN Radio. Embrace the odds. For the win!
Sometimes finding your way means following your heart, even if you don't know where it might lead.
No matter where I went, a part of me would always be here.
A new season of Sullivan's Crossing starts Sunday at 7:10 Mountain on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
The playoffs are here, and FanDuel is your home for all the action. Build your bet live, any game, any period. Stack multiple matchups on one slip with SGP Plus, and bet the best playoff moments with exclusive overtime markets. Download FanDuel and get more from the playoffs.
Please play responsibly. 18 plus and physically located in Ontario. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling or the gambling of someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge.
I know that everyone is concerned with getting the most money for their property, and with Franklin Associates, you don't have to worry because the multi-million-dollar marketing system reaches millions of potential buyers to ensure you get top dollar. But one problem that has hurt many families is not having the funds available to pay for the home they purchased. We need to sell our current home to pay for the new one. Because let's face it, most of us don't have millions of dollars or whatever the price is sitting around in a suitcase somewhere. But what happens if you can't sell your home, or the closing dates don't match, and the bank won't lend you the money to bridge? You get sued. Your life becomes a nightmare, and this has cost many families everything. So, you better make sure to avoid the stress and lawsuits by calling the only team that has the solutions and will guarantee that you can buy your next home on time without the stress of potential lawsuit. The Buyer Guaranteed Home Purchase Program is there for you. Call 416-917-5466. That's 416-917-LION. Or go online to getleo.com Subaru.com and start packing with confidence.
When you get a Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and class-leading safety included, it's like you also get a Subaru that comes with your very own golf club holder, stadium parking navigator, a basketball team transporter, a remote cottage finder, a beaver spotter, a coach hauler, bear country guide, a family road trip carrier, a muddy road controller, extreme wind stabilizer, plus a... And we're out of time. Subaru is the multi-tool that masters every unpredictable weather condition. Visit your local Subaru dealer for great lease and finance options.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I am a superhero. I love helping people consolidate their debts, and that's what I did for the Smiths. I took their bills and zoom, wha-bam, zap, turn them into one low monthly payment. No, the sound's not necessary, but it's part of the fun.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
First up with Korolnik and Koliakovo. Weekday morning 6 till 10 on TSN 1050.
You ain't first, you're last.
The federal election is on Monday, April 28th. Are you planning to vote? Check your voter information card or visit elections.ca to find out where and when to vote. Polls are open for 12 hours. Don't forget to bring accepted ID. If you're not registered to vote, you can register at your assigned polling station.
For the official information you need to vote, visit elections.ca or call 1-800-463-6868. It's our vote.
Ah, summer in Canada. It's a rite of passage. Trips to the cottage, backyard barbecues, long nights, and heat waves. To look forward to all summer has to offer, Reliance Home Comfort has you covered. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 and pay zero upfront on standard installation of a new air conditioner. So to beat the heat, come home to cool comfort and save up to $1,000 with zero upfront on a new AC.
Call on Reliance.
Conditions apply. See website for details.
CHUM AM Toronto is TSN 1050, an iHeart radio station and the voice of Toronto sports. This is Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Game 2 tonight right here on TSN Radio, and we are charging towards puck drop 7:30. I'm so happy I can make it there on time. I am going to be in the building.
Uh-oh.
And
bring your fanny pack?
I did not bring the fanny pack. We have Mark Giordano in studio.
Fans will be pissed you didn't bring the fanny pack.
I know. I thought of that. Are you a superstitious guy, Gio?
To a certain extent, yeah.
We don't have his mic on. Maybe we need his mic to start working. That would be a good
hour here.
We need to get JP in here. JP, come on in, man.
Well, Doogie was being a hero before we came on.
He was being a hero, and the one thing he had to do was get this guy's mic on.
Get Gio's mic to work.
Give us a test, Gio.
No, it's definitely not working.
Panic they are.
Why would you?
Come on over here. Let's.
No, get JP in.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, we can hear you now. I need JP on. We need him to. He may start crawling in, try to get under there. If you feel anything, below the desk, it's JP trying to get your mic to work. Yeah, there he is. JP's coming in. It's all good. All right, we'll get to Gio in a second. Although you can answer that question, I guess.
Yeah, I am a superstitious.
You are a superstitious guy?
I mean, I've seen guys do some crazy stuff before games and stuff like that, but I mean, I'd get dressed at the same time, take my stick the same way, stuff like that for sure.
Okay.
Tie my left skate first before my right one.
That's reasonable. I don't even think that has to be in the playoffs.
Those are routines.
Yes, exactly.
But like suits and like we saw, I think McDavid in the finals last year was wearing that gray suit.
Right.
That thing was going to walk away by the end. Like it just, I don't know. Do coaches wear? I don't think Chief's going to be wearing the same suit. All right, that work now?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Boy, JP.
There we go. Look at this.
Doogie, you have had quite a day, and we're going to have a talk in an office after the show.
Yeah, Doogie's going to get a full review post-game here.
I think certain coaches do, though. I think they have their superstitious ties or suits for
ties.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Daryl Sutter.
Didn't he wear the vest all the time? Or?
He wore a vest and like some, paisley tie or something, and it would be on sideways, and we'd spit.
Those old school guys, like I had Pat for a year, and it was like they're wearing what they used to wear, and they're not changing for anything, man.
Yeah.
How about if you scored? Would you use the same twig? Or would you change?
Yeah. Even with the one piece where it was like I would just motor through sticks because I like the feel of a fresh kind of like everything. I felt like new. I want my skates stiff, everything to kind of be like new and stiff. But if I scored one, it's going back to
you got to give it at least a period, right?
But don't those one pieces like deteriorate, like the whip in them?
They get soft for sure. Like if you use them for more than 3 or 4 games, they found like the blade starts to get a little bit flimsier, and for sure the flex, like you feel it more for sure.
Yeah, there's some crazy stick guys in the league, aren't there?
Well, one guy is like, I got to ask you, we watched McJesus last night just like tee off in the third period.
Oh my God.
Did you have any moments out there against him where you, like, you know how you're talking to yourself during a game where you're just like, this is insane trying to catch this guy, or this guy coming full flight on you? Because he was tossing around giants out there. Kopitar, what's the defenseman's name?
Edmondson and
Gavrikov. It's like he was dealing around those guys like they were nothing out there.
Yeah, they put up some 7 spots on us, and like him and Draisaitl are like, it's literally gets to the point where they're unstoppable. But like watching that yesterday, I was even like, this might be the best I've ever seen this guy play, and that's saying a lot. Yeah.
He was pissed,
and he was fired up, and Draisaitl was fired up. Did you see them on the bench there? They were sitting at the end of the bench, fired up. But like that touch there, that last one was like, I just. There's 4 guys back. Like somebody get a touch on him, and nobody could get even a piece of him. It was impressive.
Think about that though, like, would you think about chopping him? Like, I mean, that Gavrikov plays for keeps. So does that Mikey Anderson and guy. Like, you know, he's going by you. You're probably like, you're going to allow him in, or you're going to take a whack at him. Like, you're going to take a penalty. Yeah. And the power play wasn't great last night. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, sometimes you're thinking, like, I remember Prongs. Like, Prongs would be like, okay, I'm going to take a penalty, but you're going to feel it. Like, that's
I guess, the question. It's like Ovechkin stopping him in his office. Like, if it were that easy, you'd do it by now. And like, if you're going to whack at him, okay, go for it, but he's probably going to burn you on that power play at some point. Keep giving him opportunities. It was incredible. And the crazy thing about the two of them, like McDavid and Draisaitl, they're such different, like, specimens.
Yeah.
As well. Like, Draisaitl's just a moose out there, and he plays with some anger, and and then McDavid's flying around. Like, the idea of them both being on the ice at the same time,
bringing different things to the table,
very different elements, the way that they play.
Like that Draisaitl's, his ability to find space is unbelievable. Like the first goal they scored right at the end of the period.
Yeah.
It's basically a 1-on-4. McDavid and Draisaitl 2-on-4. Draisaitl's in front, but he pulls away just at the perfect time. Like the timing is perfect. And for the average fan, it looks like, it's just a one-time pass, but like Draisaitl falls off at the perfect time and he passes.
Especially
it at the
being a big body like that.
Yeah. And he hits it. He hits the one-timer clean every time. It seems like.
And that was a rifle of a pass too.
Yeah.
Like, which it has to be with that kind of traffic.
Yeah.
But like that pass and getting it off and getting it in, to your point. Like,
you see his stick, his paddle. He's just got a big beaver paddle on there, and it's just like whack it.
And it goes in all the time. Well, it's great to have you in here. It's great to have the mic rocking, and we're ready to play tonight because we got Game 2, and I'm sure you obviously watched Game 1. And what did you make of the way the Leafs played in Game 1?
Yeah, I thought obviously to get power play goals, to get your stars all on, like get them going, scoring goals, to get Mo and Ekman Larsson a goal is huge. I think on the back end too, the goalie played well. Like everything seems to be aligning. I thought at the start of the game it was, Ottawa would have been happy up until 2-1. I mean, they were playing a decent road game. They were down by a goal, and then who took the penalty? Stützle took a sort of a soft one in the corner, and then the power play got going. And once they get one, then they got another one on the 5-on-3, and then those guys are just rolling. So I think they're going to be really happy, but I think they're going to be aware that, you're not going to score 3 power play goals every playoff game, and the 5-on-5 game has to, be as good or even better tonight.
So it's a blowout in Game 1, like. Do you smell a 2-1 game from a mile away? Is that, like,
overtime, something like that?
Yeah, like there's just no way in hell this is a wide open affair. I mean, a lot depends on the goaltending, but this just reeks of a 2-1 game to me.
Yeah, I agree. And playing against, I actually played with Greener in the Spengler Cup, which is funny, but
no way.
Playing against him when he was coaching Van, he's going to have those guys tighten everything up. The Leafs are going to have to earn every inch tonight, 5-on-5 for sure.
One of the favorites on our show is Morgan Riley.
Yeah.
And, Mo's a lightning rod around here, right? Like people, love him, they get mad at him, all of that type of stuff. He had a night the other night. Now, you said you were happy for him. If Brady scores in that breakaway, like how do how does that shift? Like when Mo's at his best, and you've seen him, you've played with him, you're friends with him, what does he need to do to be, Morgan Riley kind of vintage, to play his best?
His A+ game.
Yeah. He needs, that's why the 5-forward power play kills him, because Mo needs his touches. He needs to feel the puck. He needs to be jumping. Like you'll notice right away when he's playing confident, he's up in the play a lot. But he's taking good calculated risks.
Yeah.
I hope the goal goes a long way for him. Like that, any player, like you score a goal, all of a sudden your legs start pumping, right? So, but I've always liked when he has a steady, stay-at-home partner. Like I really like Shen. That one playoff, he had a great playoff. He was with Shen. Now he's with Carlo, so they're similar, right? But he's got to get his touches. He's got to have the puck. He's got to want the puck, get up the ice. That's when he's at his best. And everyone's like, worrying about his defense. Well, if Mo has the puck most of the night and they're in the O-zone, he doesn't have to defend as much, and he's very effective.
Yeah, that was big the other night. We talked about it yesterday. I thought the save on Tkachuk and then Riley scoring 45 seconds after Greg made it 4-2 basically turned the lights out.
Yeah.
Like that was it. And then it's 5-2 and the party's
there's no momentum.
There's no momentum. You killed it. Like him scoring in the fashion that he did killed it. But what I was impressed with the other night was a lot of the new players. Like the core 4 players, we've talked about them endlessly. They all showed up. They all performed. They all put up numbers. You've got to have it, right? We just talked about McDavid and Draisaitl and Connor and Scheifele and Ovechkin. The best players have to perform. That goes without saying. But I thought Stolarz was really good. I thought Ekman Larsson was really, really good. I thought Tanev was really good. I thought Berube's approach. Like, in other words, the pillars that they brought in last year, starting goalie, top pairing defenseman, veteran cup-winning defenseman, head coach, like they seem to really bring an element to game one that I think was needed and factored into them winning that game.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You could add a Lawton to that.
Yes,
to that
Lawton had his best game as a Leaf.
I thought that fourth line was generating. They were buzzing. They were in on the forecheck, and if Ottawa wants any chance, I mean, their top guys have to be better. The Leafs' top guys are way better than them, and then if the Leafs' fourth line is going to outplay their fourth line, they have no chance. Like Ottawa has no chance in the series. So I'm expecting, like Go said, I think Ottawa's going to try and slow it down, grind it out, and keep this one to 3-2, 2-1 game. Or I don't think they have a chance. 5-3, 6-5, games like that. I think the Leafs are just better than them offensively.
You mentioned the Lawton line being the fourth line. I think just because it's playoff time, I think it's still okay to have some kind of internal competition where you could say to those bottom 2 lines, you guys are getting the first period or the first half of the first period, and whoever's going is going to get more ice time. Because that Lawton line, that so-called fourth line, they kept rolling out there.
Yeah.
And they were out there shifts after goals, which are very important. That's not usually the case. But if the coach can get trust in you, and if you're going, he will throw you out there. So whichever one of those lines, because there's not much that separates them as far as production or skill or whatever, who's ever going to go that night, you're going to play.
I agree, and I think it's even more likely to apply tonight because he's flipped Domi and Holmberg. And Max did not have a great night the other night, and they put Holmberg up with Tavares and Nylander. And if Max and Robertson and McMahon are struggling or the other line's outperforming them, I don't see one line as a defined third line over the other.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, I could see the Lawton line playing more than the Domi line tonight if they play the way they did the other night.
And if you're Berube, who do you trust more right now, defensively as a line?
Veteran guys.
And I think Lawton,
it's Yarncroke, and he played well the other night, too. And Lorentz played well.
Yarny's a really good defensive player, really good on the walls, really good in his own end. I think Lawton's, a good two-way centerman. So I think right now, if third period late in the game, who you're throwing out, probably that line over the third line right now.
What about the trust in the goalie? Like we were talking about before you came on, and Allmark didn't have his goods, Stolarz had his goods, Stuart Skinner didn't have his goods last night. Like it affects, right? When you don't trust what's going on back there, does your game adjust a little bit. The mindset of the guys.
Yeah, it deflates you, man. Like
Right.
you see your goalie give up a bad one. Like, if I'm Edmonton, I'm seriously considering starting the other guy next game. I really am.
I love that you just said that. Gio. I love that you just said it. Finally, some common sense. Finally, some common sense.
But we did have. What did we say? We had a what was it?
We had a confirm or deny. We had a Nico Ferguson Jr. comment. But, I mean, you can speak to it, man. You watch McDavid, your best player, play the way he did. You just said that might have been the best period he's ever played in his life.
And it got pissed away.
And it got absolutely pissed away with a brutal goal.
I wanted to ask Noodles, like, on the last goal, I get that it's a weird play and it flubs and all that, but, like, it looked like he flinched to me.
He moved this way, so it's coming directly... And again, Warren Fogle, who's 6'3" and a big guy,
plays
jumps
it well.
up. And
Bouchard could have pushed him out of the way, but he decided to go into the corner.
First of all, Bouchard waving it at the blue line, which is a bit weird play. But if you look at Skinner, he's sliding. Watch him here. Watch, he slides a little bit. He's sliding over.
Such a back-breaking goal.
It's just an awful back-breaking goal. He doesn't see it. Like, there's no... He doesn't track it. Look at him. He's looking down.
Yeah, he's got no idea where the puck is.
I can't
eyes are
believe
looking
I'm the
down.
one that's been defending goaltenders. Isn't a flub shot hard to track? Because you're looking to react a missile that comes...
No,
Dude, I'm being dead serious.
I hear you, but
it's almost like a...
You got to find the puck.
It's a change-up is what it is.
Like, you know how many times I play with Gio and guys would chirp, especially in practice, and like, hey, it's a little black thing in there, pull it out of the net.
Yeah.
Like that. You've said that to goalies in practice, a guaranteed. You're sitting there on the bench and watching this. You know, I thought Skinner got hung out a few times because the Oilers weren't very good the first 40 minutes. 5-on-3, there was a questionable call, bad play by Wallman, all of that type of stuff. There was a cast of characters on that team last night that didn't have their goods outside of McDavid and Draisaitl for about 22 minutes. But that goal is backbreaking. And he's 6'4", and the strength of Stuart Skinner is using his size, a lot like Anthony Stolarz. Stolarz is 6'6".
Yeah.
It's Freddie Goat
He's a
every
monster,
day.
man.
You
He is a
can't
monster.
take away
man.
6'6". He's 6'6" in the net. Skinner's 6'4". He made himself small on that, but he didn't find the puck. He was kind of like looking for it, and it was over, and it was gone already, and it's backbreaking.
It's the timing of it.
The timing of it. It's just, you need a save regardless of whatever it was.
Especially the
and that was
context.
off.
Your team battles back. I mean, we started talking about superstition.
Yeah.
Like, what is the mood like in that room? Like, where the last time they played a playoff game, it was the most heartbreaking moment of their lives.
Yeah.
Dude,
right?
what happens is somebody stands up and says, guys, we lost game one. There is a bunch of guys in this room, and Jamie, you know this better than anyone. There's an unwritten rule you don't single out the goaltender, but McDavid or Draisaitl will stand up and say, there's a bunch of guys in this room that need to get their heads out of their asses if we're going to win this series, and one of the guys is the goalie. And if he's not smart enough to figure that out, then shame on him.
Well, do you read anything into Chris Knobloch, the head coach, saying that they're not giving an answer on the Game 2 starter?
That means he's thinking about it.
I do.
I think you think about it, but I think you have to think about it because this isn't, Stuart Skinner hasn't been the clear-cut one this year. Pickard's played a bunch of games. Like, pull up his record for me because I got my computer.
Yeah, the last,
closed. I think he has 21 wins for them this year. Like, he played a ton down the stretch, and he actually played pretty darn good for them, and he's not... Ray Ferraro always has this saying. He's an unmade bed in the net. Like he's all over the place. He doesn't have a clean butterfly, but he battles in there. And the team might just play harder for him in a different context.
But did you hear the difference in, like, Knobloch says, I don't know who I'm starting, but did you hear the difference in him and Greener's tone? Greener was like, we have a Vezina trophy, he's pretty good goal.
Exactly.
What I mean? So it's
like you could diffuse it immediately.
Yeah.
If you're Knobloch, you could just look at the guy and say, why are you asking?
Skinner's playing.
Of course, Skinner's the guy. The fact that you kind of say, we haven't made a decision, if I'm Skinner, I realize what that means.
And then
if you play, you got one more
chance. The rodeo is
chance.
going to continue because a couple of years ago there was the Vegas series. There was another series where I think he got pulled 3 or 4 times in the whole playoffs.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and it's like
they lost to Vegas.
Are we really going to try? Like, are we going to try to win a cup with that rodeo? Because you can't do it. I said it a couple of years ago. It's just
in the end, I still think he starts tomorrow. But I said this before: short leash. Because the other guy, they trust. The other guy has won them games this year. The other guy
then I think, Jamie, you just said it. You start the other guy then. Short leash. Because if you start a guy and say, hey, he's going to be on a short leash, he's probably not the guy you want to put in net to begin with. And then if you lose the hockey game and you're down 2 Cobb after 1 and you ultimately lose the game, you're saying, why the hell did we start him? Are we dumb?
That's why these coaches get paid a lot of money, man. They got to make the right call,
The
right?
only thing I would say is that you challenge everybody because, again, everybody in that room stunk for about 40 minutes, close to it, 39. You say everybody's got to be better, including the guy in the net.
If I was saying it, I would say everyone's got to get their head out of their ass, and then I would do a little horse side of the goalie. You do a little horse side of the goalie and just let them know that you're looking at
Let him know what's up. Mark Giordano in studio. The Stolarz question, like in terms of the way he played, there was so much debate. We had you on a couple of weeks ago, and we were asking you about could we see a tandem in the playoffs, and that ship has sailed after 1 game.
Yeah.
But things change quickly in the playoffs. What would you anticipate Ottawa's game plan is against him tonight?
I think they're going to try and disrupt him, get in his face. But I think the one thing I noticed, Tampa played them last week before the season, and they were ripping them high everywhere. And I wonder if that's a scouting report. I don't know he's so good down low. You're not scoring on this guy down low, it seems. If the puck, even cross ice one-timers, he's getting across and he's there. So I would say they're going to try and put everything high, but they're going to try and get in his face. I'm sure we're going to see Brady a little more of an agitator tonight and throwing the weight around a little bit.
What does that look like in your opinion? Like, is that more in front of the net?
In front of the net, trying to disrupt him, like Stolarz more, but he'll be all over the ice. I thought he was a bit underwhelming last game compared to what he usually is, and I don't know if that's a little bit of rust. Probably the guy hasn't played in a long time, and but he'll be back and he'll be fired up tonight for sure. But they're going to try and get there. I think both goals were rebound goals, right? If I'm ready, correct. So they're going to try and use that probably. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, before playoffs, the goalie coach comes in and he gives you a full video session, full scouting report on every goalie. So Ottawa knows where you can beat, where his weaknesses are, what his tendencies are. It's just a matter of they got to get inside and get chances, but they also got to agitate him a bit and get in his face more. I didn't think they had many. They had a big shot lead in the first and second period, but they didn't have many quality
weren't threatening.
chances.
There was a lot of shots they put towards the net, but it was volume. It wasn't chances. The other thing too is with a big goalie, you have to keep him in his net. So you that's where traffic comes because that way, if you take the spot just outside the crease, he can't push out. He can't get there. So, again, it's fighting that's keeping him in the net. You may see a little bit more, but he does cover the ice well.
I wonder what those scouting reports ultimately equate to. I could score a goal in the NHL, but when I was looking at a goaltender, if it was a big, tall guy like Roman Turek or Roberto Luongo, I'm like, this has probably got to go 5-hole, possibly top glove. Other than that, this is no chance of going in. Yeah. Small guy, I'm ripping it under the bar. What guy is going to say in a split second, in a moment in the slot, saying, in that meeting, that guy said he was favorable? You know what I mean? I love information, and guys need information, but what it amounts to is, I'm curious. Has anybody ever digested that scouting report in a split second and said, oh, that coach told me top blocker, I'm going to go top blocker, and make it count? And I wonder.
How different is it? The guy comes in and goes, we need traffic. Yes, thank you. We appreciate that.
Someone get paid to say, that guy doesn't like traffic.
Yeah, he doesn't like traffic. And if you find an empty net, you're really in for one.
Mark Bergevin before the game would say, this guy rides his bike to the rink because he doesn't like traffic.
What do they say? Put it in your subconscious. Maybe it'll come true. Right?
Exactly.
High blocker.
That being said, Gio, if you've got a pre-scout on a guy and you get one opportunity to walk it comes up the wall and you got to walk and you got to get it down to the front of the net, and hey, Vasilevsky, we got to get it on his blocker side because there's traffic. You probably are trying to, in your mind subconsciously.
I wonder how many, if they hammer it home, if it actually affects you, right?
Well, it just, it's weird. I went to a goaltender seminar, and they brought in all these goalie coaches from all over the world. But they brought in shooting coaches, and it was Joe Pavelski's shooting coach, a guy named Ron Johnson from Vancouver. Unbelievable guy. And he talked about now all of these elite shooters. It'd be interesting to see who Austin Matthews worked with and people like that. They talk about quadrants of the net. It's okay, if I'm in the slot and I know, like, somebody's on me, I just got to get it to the top quadrant. I got to get it top left, top right. That's where I think shooters are going nowadays. Oh, it's not, you got to do this and roll your wrist that. It's like, on a quick play with a big goaltender in net, it's got to go, right quadrant. That's where, and that's
especially if you know he's moving that way or whatever.
That's now what these guys are taught.
Oh, I love the way that shooters have taken advantage, like from tough angles down low. They know that right under the bar over the ear, like that's where they're shooting the puck. But that's where it's, and this is the wrong approach because I'm not a goaltender coach. Some goals you see, and it's like, man, if you were kind of just standing up there, like that Skinner flub shot, like if he's just like standing there, that hits him in the shoulder. But when you're going down right away, you're taking a chance.
Yeah, exactly. All you're doing is, Dave Marcoux, our old goalie coach in Calgary, used to say, you play the